Welcome back to Why the hell are you here, teacher? Anime review part 2. Yes, now you're probably gonna be noticing that I'm putting this up in a batch. Yes, 4 straight ones in a batch. Reason why? Because I just want to continue watching the series. That's the simple gist of it. But don't worry, the episodes will go up. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, this one discussing just 2 episodes this time instead of 4. Yeah, it's kind of weird though of how many episodes each one of these books basically cover. This one covers 2. Yes, though next 2 are gonna be 3 apiece. Now, these episodes episode 5 covers 11 to 12, and 6 covers 15 and 20. These ones are a bit interesting to say the least. Now, in the case of the first one, it kind of basically starts off where you guys. This is actually true from the manga. Though there's not really much change here. So basically, Sato reveals to Rin he's actually Suzuki. He's the guy for these episodes, and Miyu is the beautiful teacher in this one. He reveals, oh yeah, I'm dating. He reveals that he's dating the woman known as the Demon. Yep, he's officially dating Kana. Yep, he's dating Kama, and well, and he has to keep his secrets, and then he runs off, and not seeing again until toward the end of the next episode. Yeah, because this is not his story this time. Nope, it is basically his best friend's time. Yep, Suzuki. Yep, voiced by Andrew Love. No, I haven't heard much of him. And the teacher with him is Miyu Mizuki. Now, right after he goes off, basically, she's the one who basically walks toward him because because in the previous one it was Sato running into Kana. This time it's the opposite thing, and she's very clumsy. Yep, where he's basically eating his bento lunch. Yes, bento lunch by himself. It's like so quiet. And then she just walks up to him. And he does the obvious thing, why the hell are you here, teacher? So they pretty much decide to have lunch together. And of course, she wanted to basically feed him by using the chopstick, put in his mouth. It's like, oh, why don't you just do this? Like, okay. And then she slips, and then he tries to grab her and trying to get wet. He ends up pulling down her skirt. And of course, she's wet. And of course, then he picks her up out of the water. Though he accidentally turns on a faucet and causes her panties to go down. No, he does not do it himself. It's by complete accident. And basically because, well, she is still wet. And as an apology for accidentally getting her wet, he gives her, here's his sweater. And then he walks off. And then, of course, we see Kana with Miyu, which, yeah, for her, because they revealed at the end of the last episode that Kana and Sato are officially a couple. And, well, we see her, of course, it's a women's locker room, so of course she's topless. Of course she is. Yeah, and there's obvious hints that Mayu has got a thing for Suzuki. So, basically, and of course she's with the sweater. Like, oh yeah, is that their students? Yep. And then, of course, finds his commuter pass. And then she decides to rush off to see him on the subway. Yes, the subway. And he, of course, is in a tracksuit, probably because he just came off of basically a track meet. Oh, yeah, and they also pointed the thing, like, she does point out, like, doesn't his face make him scary? Like, wow, that's something, though. Like, a guy whose face is scary to people, like, that sounds very familiar to me. Yeah, it sounds a lot like the premise of the main character from Val X Love. Good series. Too bad it never finished. Nope, still a lot more series they can cover, but nope, they just never brought a finish for some reason. Yep. So, she, of course, basically was making my commute pass. And, of course, he's surprised to see her on the subway train. And then, of course, he accidentally, like, because Genki's moving a lot, she basically pumps it. And somehow, some way, her top gets opened up completely by accident. Like, partially anyways, then she just turns around. And then her chest is basically pressed against the glass of the subway train. And then he politely, of course, because he can't move, of course, he prevented her from being viewed for the public, which that's nice of him to do. And like a gentleman, he proceeds to button up her blouse. So at one point, he's having trouble because he's not looking at her chest. He accidentally grabs her nipples. Yes, I am not kidding about that. That's what he seriously does. Takes a little bit. Eventually, he does finish. And then there's a misunderstanding by a police officer. And of course, they try to straighten it out, but she ends up basically falling unconscious. Basically, he just basically fixed her shirt. Like, her blouse accidentally opened up. She basically was being a gentleman, closing up for her. Yep. And then the very next episode, we have it where he is at a fast food joint getting a lucky meal, aka a happy meal, we have over here. And of course, everybody's surprised the fact he's getting it. And then, of course, Mayu shows up. It's like she's picking up a lucky meal too. And then, of course, like the fact that he's picking up for his siblings, his younger siblings, who are 4, so adorable, these 2 little kids. And then, of course, well, they get outside. It's raining. Like, this is interesting. No, then we just have this basically just a few episodes back, where the characters are caught by the rain. And then just by sheer coincidence, his adorable sibling just happened to show up. And they give him like a umbrella. And here's something interesting though. His sister is voiced by Brittany Kowalski. Yes. Those of you may not be familiar with this actress, you may remember her from Fairy Tail. It's the voice of Wendy Marvel. Yep. The voice of Wendy Marvel. And I took a head count. I was surprised basically how many series I've seen her in now. With this series, this currently makes 26. 26. Which currently makes it the 3rd highest that I've come across so far. Though one of my favorite voice actors are going to show up very next episode. I'm looking forward to watching that. So, basically, when we home, of course, they want to open the hat mills. They can't because the food will be wet, so they basically show off their toys. The little brother gets a panda bear, and the girl's upset she got a fish. Yes, a fish. I should point out, though, the little girl's name is Suzu. The younger brother, the twin brother, his name is Ree. He is voiced by Alyssa Mark. That's how you pronounce her name. It's okay. I don't know like how old she is. She's like, they don't list basically her age on here. Yeah, not many series she's been in. I mean, this is only her 5th series. Wow. She's probably not been voice acting for very long. No, not really. Yeah, she's only been probably voice acting for a few short years. Yeah, I'd say for just for a few years. I mean, her first series was a series called Subaru, that was her first series. She was in Land of Lustrous. Of course, this series, Assassin's Pro, basically a handful of series. She's only been acting since like 2014, which like, okay, not very long. She's not a bad actress. She's only here just for this one scene. And of course, the fish itself, basically she tosses it up, gets the panda bear from her to swap from her because, well, probably didn't need it. And of course, Sister Ches to chastise her. Now, if you're curious though, who voices the sister? Soya. She appears at the end of this episode. She is actually voiced by Molly Cersei. Cersei. Yep. She, of course, has probably been in a handful of series. Well, oh my gosh, like almost as many as like I have looked at later because I see like a few series on here that I'm familiar with that she's been in. Like, take for example, is a Veronica Girls Engine. Yeah, she's in that one. I mean, she's been a good bunch, like small amount, probably not as much as let's say other series. Basically, I've seen her in. Yep, and she basically voices the sister, Soya. Yeah, and of course, well, you have it where I'll get to this more sister in a minute. So basically, the fish ends up in her shirt, and of course, Suzu is like so happy to get the panda bear, though it's a slightly different panda bear than what her brother got. and the truck goes by and had to move out of the way. And then all of a sudden, the umbrella gets accidentally caught under her butt. I am not kidding about it. It seriously happens. Just by pure accident. And then basically with the fish still in her shirt, it's like, thank you, I think my house is over there. I'm going to run over there now. And then, of course, they would see her in the bathtub. Of course, she's naked, obviously. And her sister walks in on her. And, of course, she's playing with the fish. And then later on, it's revealed that, wow, this is basically deja vu, where he actually helped become a teacher. Yep. And apparently they've known each other for 3 years. In the case of Sato and his teacher, even longer. Probably like almost a decade. While in the case of him, only about 3 years. And she's basically running late. And she trips because her shoe broke. And then he just comes by because he's basically doing something for his dad. So he basically proceeds to run her all the way to the university. Gets her there a little early and fix her shoe. Of course, during that period of time, like her bra gets undone under her shirt. And it looks like her shirt's wet, for some reason. And then, of course, fix her shoe. And that apparently is when she fell in love with him. And then the thing ends basically kind of where episode 4 ends, basically where she and Connor at a table just having drinks. Of course, she's drunk. Sato basically just comes by, pick her up because he's the boyfriend. And Sato contacts Suzuki to basically pick her up and walk her home. Kind of a nice gentleman he is. And that's the episode. It's like, wow, like, really? That's what happens? Yeah. Not as embarrassing as, let's say, what happened in the first few episodes. Excuse me. As for the whole thing of basically her going, like, her top be removed, that only happened, like, once. And she's kind of and basically, it's kind of written, though, the teachers are very clumsy. But not the case in the next one. Oh, no, she's not clumsy at all. And I'll be talking about her in the next part of this one. So, until you see you on part 3, bye.